Hello and welcome to this is episode 5, right?
Episode 5, yep.
Episode 5 of Gridiron Banter. Today, myself, Gavin Laskowski, is joined by usual co-host, that's not him, that is him, usual co-host Dylan Ford.
Hey, it's nice to see you all again.
And special guest, Michael Battisti, first-time guest.
What's up?
Here to talk about the NFL mock draft of 2024.
Mm-hmm.
I want to preface this, most of us, I don't think any of us actually watch college football. This is all from what we've seen online. So we are going to get into this.
All right.
First overall pick, Bears have it courtesy Carolina. Dylan, where do you think they go here?
So this is a very interesting position for the Bears, and it's the thing I'm going to be watching the most in the offseason is if they're going to be sticking with Fields here. They have such a good draft capital that I could almost see them trading here. But if they had to take at this position, I wonder if they take Marvin Harrison Jr., just having another really good wide receiver. They obviously have DJ Moore, who did great things for them this year. But their second wide receiver was like Darnell Mooney, right? I think.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, whoever they were, it wasn't like a stud name, not one you really see. But having that second wide receiver could really open up the passing offense here for the Bears. And if they are sticking with Fields, I think that'd probably be their best plan of action here.
So you're thinking stay with Fields?
Stay with Fields, yeah.
I think I'm in a similar boat to you. At the beginning of the year, I wasn't really on the Fields train as everyone was like, oh, it's his real breakout year, which we didn't even necessarily see the breakout year, but it was an improvement year. Adding DJ Moore really helped that offense a lot, and especially helped my fantasy team.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I just think it's such a gamble to give up a QB that's already proven himself is improving and he basically assured himself as a starter in the NFL this year. And I feel like giving that up for Caleb Williams, who is a stud, already, but you don't know when you draft a QB if they're going to transition well. Just look at Steelers backup.
Can you pick it?
No, not get back up to it.
Rudolph?
No, not Rudolph. The other
Trubisky?
Yeah, Trubisky. Look at Trubisky. He was taken out. Was he one or two?
He was 2 to the Bears.
Yeah, 2 to the Bears. They took him before. He was a stud. He was supposed to be that guy that was supposed to save the franchise. But in the end, he didn't really pan out.
Yeah, so I think a big positive of keeping with Fields is that Fields is familiar with the offense, which is huge for quarterbacks. If you're familiar with the offense of that particular team, it allows you to play better and just have a better understanding. He's been there for, 2-3 years now, and I think he's really cemented himself that if you were to get rid of him, I think they'd be losing a lot of the opportunity, and they kind of would start just going back to a rebuild phase where they're trying to get someone new in there.
So where do you guys think that if they were to trade Fields and go with Caleb Williams, where would Fields' destination be?
2 come to mind are Atlanta and Pittsburgh. But I feel like, I don't know. I like the Atlanta trade a little more. I feel like they would be a better team if they got Justin Fields rather than Pittsburgh. But I don't really know where he would go personally.
I agree with the Atlanta team. That's a team with Justin Fields, Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts is such a disgusting younger core to build an offense around. I think that'd be a nasty combo.
I mean, they don't got Justin Jefferson yet.
What?
Did you say Justin Jefferson?
I don't think I think he said Justin Fields.
Oh, you say okay. I heard Justin Jefferson. I don't know why.
You're good.
But honestly, I can see that. But I feel like Atlanta has so many more options. I think Kirk Cousins is getting dropped or he's potentially getting let go. Not getting re-signed. Yeah. So I feel like I would rather have Kirk Cousins over Justin Fields if I was them. They have a really good running back already. Mm-hmm. You don't really need that running quarterback as much. It's nice. Mm-hmm. It's a nice piece to have in your offense, but I think I don't even know if the Steelers would be, I think, a better landing spot for him because they have good running backs, but they're nothing stud level like Bijan in my opinion. And you also have those 2 decent wide receivers with Deontay and George Pickens. Mm-hmm. So I feel like almost the Steelers would be better for him, but I think he'd probably find more success in Atlanta just because he has probably more weapons around him. They're actually high level pieces in that offense. You know what I mean?
So based on what we're saying, we're assuming they are trading and assumed to be Caleb Williams here
mm-hmm.
with 1. I mean, I feel like that's a no-brain. If they are trading, it's the no-brain move there. I guess they could trade out if for some reason they like May or Daniels better.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Caleb's probably the undisputed 1. You could maybe make a case for the others, but I think most people have him as the number 1 quarterback.
Yeah.
Let me go 2 with the Commanders. Very interesting with Sam Howell had a very up and down year last year. I assume they're probably going to move on and take a quarterback here. Maybe they trade out. Maybe they take a receiver. I don't know.
I think they definitely take a quarterback here, you know. I think they have really good receivers. Terry McLaurin is a really good receiver who's just been stuck with some crappy quarterbacks for the last few years. So I really think this is where, if they can get a good quarterback that can develop here, they got Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, who look amazing. They got, who's their third? Or it might be their second.
Curtis Samuel.
Curtis Samuel, he's decent.
How did you forget? You literally got him in Weddle earlier.
Yeah,
today.
I know. I had every single other Commanders, and I knew it was in Washington. I just forgot what was the second receiver. But besides that, I don't see them taking a wide receiver here. They have such good wide receivers. And obviously, I don't think they take a running back here. You know, they got what's his name?
Brian Robinson.
Brian Robinson. He's not like amazing or anything, but he's a solid running back. You know, I think in this position they definitely are taking a QB. So I think they definitely overlook Marvin Harrison. But would they take Drake May, or do you think they take who else is there?
Jade Daniels.
See, this is where it gets a little bit hard. I don't know what their play styles are.
Jaden Daniels is more of like a Lamar, can do it both, run and pass. He showed that a lot at LSU. Drake May's he's a taller, like sit in the pocket. Like he can improvise and all that, but he's just like sit in the pocket, sling the rock kind of guy.
Isn't he really athletic too, and like kind of like a Justin Herbert, Josh Allen type arm?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
He's just a big guy who can make plays. Usually, like the ideal quarterback build is what you consider him to be. I've seen a lot of talk. If he declared last year, he would have easily been number 1 quarterback in the draft. But obviously now he's gotta compete with Caleb. So I guess it just depends on what the Commanders really think they want there at that pick. Personally, I would do Drake May at 2. But I mean, I can't be upset if they take Jaden Daniels. Really,
I think if they take Drake May, that's a very safe pick. He's a very, like from what I've heard, sounds like a very system QB. You know, he's going to do his job. He's going to do it well. If they want to play risky, Jaden Daniels might not be bad because, like I said, they don't have that really good running back. And if you said that Jaden Daniels is more of like a Fields type is what I'm presuming,
Dual
right?
threat.
Yeah. Then that might just allow their offense to open up more, having those decent wide receivers with the quarterback that can run at any point. That's a very dangerous combo. We see that in Buffalo a lot, and you kind of saw it in the Eagles last year. Less this year, but you saw it a lot in Buffalo, Josh Allen. You'd have all of them go deep, and Josh Allen can run for like 10 yards at a time, you know. So if they wanted to go like a little bit like on the, I guess, riskier side, I feel like Jaden Daniels is a really good pick. But I feel like with the Commanders right now, they most likely want that safer pick. So I think that Drake May is probably the best pick for them.
See, I have a hot take. Like Sam Howell at the beginning of the year, I feel like people forget was like, I don't know if he was leading, but he was top.
He was up there.
3-5 for all stats, touchdowns, yards, all of that.
Yeah.
But then it was the second half of the year he really took that dive. He took the lead in interceptions. I don't know. I feel like with time, Sam Howell could become like that guy they're looking for. I think, yeah, it makes sense to take Drake May now, but like I still kind of believe in Sam Howell. I don't know really who they'd pick. Maybe like Brock Bowers if they wanted to continue with Sam Howell, but I'm a believer in Sam Howell. I think he can become a franchise QB.
Sensing a little bias here. Just a little though. Another thing that's interesting, if for whatever reason the Bears maybe trade out or don't take Caleb Williams, his old coach, Cliff Kingsbury, is the Commanders' offensive coordinator now. So maybe that helps them get Caleb Williams if that's possible. But back to the draft, I assume we're gonna go with Drake May here.
I think Drake May.
Yeah.
Now the real interesting one. I've seen obviously Jaden Daniels, and starting to see a lot more Marvin Harrison Juniors in this spot, and it's interesting to me because obviously Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi are not the ones who are going to get it done. New regime, new coach, new everything. So I would assume they're like, okay, let's start fresh with a new quarterback. But maybe they think that Marvin Harrison is someone you can't miss out on, and they're going to wait next year. Maybe they sign a veteran in free agency.
So it's definitely a hard position that they're in because they're lacking at 2 roles. They're lacking at wide receiver and they're lacking at quarterback. I feel like having the better quarterback, though, because a crappy quarterback can't do anything with amazing wide receivers, while an amazing quarterback can work with crappy crappy wide receivers. We saw that with, Mahomes is a very extreme case. He's the best quarterback in the league. But he did not really have a number one receiver this year, and he still got it done, got to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So I feel like if they drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. here, I feel like that's just a mistake. You need a solid quarterback to start kind of build on that. Mm-hmm. Wait a year, next year you can get that top tier wide receiver. I mean, who do they have for wide receivers right now?
Kendrick Bourne.
That's
like the only one I can think of.
I think Juju signed a 3-year deal, right? And then
so
they had their rookie who wasn't bad, Demario Douglas.
So I feel like at this position you need a quarterback. And I feel like that's what a big staple right now in this draft is that early on, a lot of these people need quarterbacks. We saw a lot of struggle this year. They had Mac Jones. They had Bailey Zappi. I think they had another quarterback midway through. Like, they can't – I don't think they could do another year of just cycling through quarterbacks, seeing which one sticks. Because I feel like they're not going to get that, even if they have one of the best talented rookies this year. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I agree with your point, because look at just the success of Stroud this year. Mm-hmm. Took 3-14 last year? I believe so. A 3-14 Texans team to a playoff contending semifinals, like, it's in 1 year is crazy. Look at the receivers he elevated. I've never even heard of like Noah Brown or Nico Collins until really this year, because they were such explosive playmakers on that Texans offense, and only because of Stroud. They were immediately elevated up to a higher level. And that's why I think with the Patriots, it's like Dylan said, you take that QB, instantly you're going to see more success of building your franchise than taking like Marvin Harrison Jr., who kind of just have an off year with some QB structure. Unless, could they be a target for Justin Fields if they do end up trading?
See, like in this draft, we have that on the table, is that since they took Caleb, they have traded away Justin Fields. Mm-hmm. So would this be a potential landing spot, and then they go for Marvin Harrison?
Or Big Kirko, he's also available.
Kirk Cousins also is probably going to be available. It's there's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks here.
I don't see Kirk Cousins going to the Patriots.
Yeah, neither do I, but I'm just saying that's on the table. You never know.
Yeah, I don't know, but assuming based on our conversation, we're going to go Jaden Daniels from LSU.
Jaden Daniels, yeah.
Now, this next one I feel like is pretty easy. Cardinals need a receiver. Arguably the best one since Jamar Chase is right there on the board. You can make a case for Neighbors or Odunze, but I feel like Marvin Harrison is just a little more above them, so that's a pretty easy one there.
I think he'll pair very well with Kyler Murray. Because Kyler Murray, I think, is a very good QB. He's been off the past few years with injury, but give him that receiver, and I think he's going to take a step up in this game.
Yeah, it gets a lot of unnecessary hate, personally, I think.
I agree.
So next we got the Chargers, who go a couple different ways here. Could go receiver, obviously. Keenan Allen's getting up there in age. Mike Williams is coming off a torn ACL, and then Quinn Johnson stinks. So then you got Neighbors or Odunze there. You got Brock Bowers. They do need a tight end. He is a very good player. Just the position he plays kind of drags his stock down a bit. They could go tackle for all we know. Maybe they want to beef up the line. So personally, I've seen a lot of receivers mocked to them. That's probably what I would do, but I don't know. What is your guys' opinion?
See, I don't like the receiver, because that'd be second year in a row of them taking a receiver in the first round gamble, which makes sense. Quinn Johnson didn't really work out, but I feel like they might switch directions. I don't know. I feel like Brock Bowers could pair really well with Herbert and be like a really nice fit in that offense. And say how is Keenan Allen still in contract?
I believe so.
With Keenan Allen, because I know they might lose Mike Williams, but having Keenan Allen in his last few years, because look what we saw this year, he put up crazy amounts of yards.
He was the only wide receiver, though. That was that led to a lot of his targets and a lot of his potential this year.
Well, my point is he has the capability to put up high numbers still, even in his old age. So I personally, if it was me, I'm thinking Brock Bowers, but you can't go wrong with a wide receiver or a tackle.
I mean, how was their defense this year? Their defense was kind of. I know towards the end of the year it was getting worse and worse. I mean, you saw in that Raiders game that was some Madden numbers.
I feel like they're super talented on the defensive side. I think it was mostly coaching from Brandon Staley. Just
Bosa, Khalil Mack.
They got Derwin James. I don't think that it's necessarily the problem. Obviously, it was a problem last year, but I feel like you just build around Herbert more.
Yeah.
'Cause you just paid him like a lot of money this past offseason, so like you obviously got to use him to get to the play. Only been one playoff game since, or no, was it two? No, it was one against the Jaguars.
That was a funny game.
And if you want to win now, you got to help him. So
If you think give him that good tight end, give him another option to throw to.
I think so. Who's their tight end now? It's like
Jared
Gerald
Everett.
Everett.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I feel like Brock Bowers would not be bad here. On to the New York Football Giants, my favorite team, along with Michael Battisti here. What are we thinking?
I don't know. I really was hoping, like, if going with this mock, I want a QB. I'm sorry, Daniel Jones. I was a believer during the Vanilla Vic campaign, but last year it just sold the deal. I'm done with you. Get out of my team. I want you gone. Tyrod Taylor was better than you. It's just time for you to go. I really want a QB, but the way it's looking like, I don't think we're really going to get the opportunity to get one. So going next best, I don't know. It's a hard spot. I don't want to take a lineman either.
Yeah, that's like worst case scenario for me.
It's just like, line sucks, but it's a problem that's always with the Giants, and it's just never fixed, no matter what they do to address it.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter there's a high likely chance that the Giants are looking to trade up if the opportunity is right, but obviously we'll have to wait and see how that works out.
Would this? I'm not a Giants fan, so I don't know like how this looks for you. Would Fields be like a potential guy for you if he got? Like I said, he's been traded in this, and did we say he went to
No,
New England? We
he's
said he
not.
didn't go to New England, so he's still technically undrafted. Would this be a team? Would this be a guy that, as a Giants fan, you would be fine with?
I mean, I'd be open to it. I just don't know how realistic it is, but I would definitely approve of it.
I'd also be open to it. I just personally, I prefer to draft that younger QB, reset the whole entire offense, and just like, because Fields is already, what's this mean? His fourth year.
Yeah.
So he's been in the league for a little while. I like earlier years, fresh QB, fresh start.
I mean, the next QB is JJ McCarthy.
No.
I'm not high on JJ McCarthy. I hear a lot of teams are, though, strangely enough. Like, maybe a Falcons take him, or, like, someone, like, outside the top 10 could. But personally, I don't really see it.
Yeah. So, as you guys are the Giants fans here, you're going to know better than I am. I would say O-line is from what I saw this season. Your O-line stank, no offense. So that's what if I was in this position, that's what I would be going for, but you obviously showed some discomfort with that.
Yeah. For me personally, I want my next Odell Beckham Jr. I want Malik Nabers. I feel
Really?
like all right, so we took Hyatt last year, who he didn't really do much this year. He didn't really have a chance to do much this year with his QB situation. What I've seen, I think he has potential. Then a player we did see take a big uptick in his game was Wan'Dale Robinson. And he also was very explosive, even with his QB situation. If I'm thinking of the Green Bay versus Giants Monday night primetime game, he had that like long game-winning like catch that set him up for the field goal to win the game. So those two plus Malik Nabers could be a very elite young core. It's just that QB problem needs to be addressed. But
See, that's the big thing. Like I said earlier when we were talking about the Patriots, it doesn't matter. I think it was the Commanders. It doesn't matter how good wide receivers you have. If you have a quarterback who can't throw it properly and can't get it into their hands, how much does that good wide receiver matter?
I mean, but at the same time, even though I'm not a fan of Daniel Jones anymore, he's still Daniel Jones. I think he's like 20s range QB. He's not the worst in the league. He can do stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's still not elevate the players or the wide receivers to their max level, but like he'd still be able to use them.
You're hoping for like a 2022 season where he got them to the playoffs?
Yeah, I was very impressed with Jones that year, but there's another player I feel like who's just as crucial in Saquon Barkley. And it looks like right now we're going to be losing him, which really upsets me. He's my favorite player on the Giants by far. If we do re-sign him on offense with Daniel Jones, Malik Nabers, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Hyatt, and Saquon Barkley, I feel like is enough to have some success.
Yeah.
Going from last year where Giants were a bottom of the league offense.
personally, I'm more of a Romo Dunze kind of guy, but I wouldn't be upset with Neighbors. I just like Odunze a little more. But I understand where you're coming. You want your next Odell because he got the LSU and all that. So we can go Malik Neighbors here.
All right.
Malik Neighbors?
Yeah, I like it.
So this is an interesting one. I don't know much about the Titans. They had like an average season. I think they went like 6, 7, and 8 or whatever. I don't really know. I just know they had an average season. They didn't do anything. They didn't get to the playoffs. They kind of just were there.
They did something. They stopped the Jaguars.
They did. They did stop the Jaguars. I mean, they stopped they won a lot of games they shouldn't have won.
And the Dolphins.
Yeah, and the Dolphins. Yeah. I was there for that. I cried. But then they also lost some games that I feel like they should have won as well. They're a very weird team, and honestly, I don't know what they need. Like, it says here they need wide receiver, O-line, and is that deep back? Is that what DB
Defensive
is?
back.
Defensive back. I mean, like, honestly, they have DeAndre Hopkins as their wide receiver 1, and I don't know who their wide receiver 2 is. But
Who is it?
Traylon Burks, maybe?
Traylon
Yeah,
Burks?
Burks, that's
Didn't he get injured halfway? He's like an injury.
Yeah, didn't he have like an
prone.
ACL? A big injury that was. out for a
I don't
while.
remember exactly.
He's not. I know he's not that good. I can confirm that.
So you're saying they could take a wide receiver here?
I feel like if there was any if they were gonna take anyone here, it'd probably be Rome Odunze. Is that how you pronounce it?
Mm-hmm.
Just because like from what their needs are, that's like the only thing that's high up that they could take. I don't know. I feel like their defense was solid. They're a very rough house defense. They will push you around. They'll do whatever to get you down on the ground. So I feel like their defense is like good and solid here. And I feel like are they sticking with who is it? Will Levis as their QB?
I assume so, yeah.
So if they're sticking with him, giving him another good like open receiver might be a really good choice here.
So that's my question for you guys. What's your thoughts on Will Levis? After last year, I'm a big believer of him. I've seen like the one play that sticks in my mind. I don't remember who it was against, but he threw an interception, ran after the player who caught it, like tried to smash him, knock the ball out of his hand, and recovered his own interception, which was insane to me. It was like the coolest play of the year. He's very like beefy, strong. He's breaking tackles. I don't know. I like the kid. I think he's going to be good. Even I was a doubter after the mayonnaise instrument in his coffee, but...
Wait, what?
You didn't
it
see
was
that?
like during the draft season.
He puts mayonnaise in his coffee.
You're kidding, right?
He was doing
No,
some
it's real. Look it up.
Weird stuff.
That's
yeah.
actually crazy.
He's a funny dude, but I don't know. I think he's going to be good. I'm just a believer of some of these, like I said with Sam Howell and Will Levis. I think Will Levis will be a good QB. In that young QB division of Trevor Lawrence, Stroud, Richardson, and Levis, it's going to be very interesting to watch over the next coming years. So I kind of agree, taking that wide receiver just to push his game up even more is good. I don't know how good their offensive line is, but like if it's a problem, they have options too as well. With Joel right there.
That was going to be my point, is I think they just go best player available, who happens to be a tackle.
Yeah.
I feel like if you just let your quarterback get some good protection, I feel like you can at least attempt to win some games. Even if you don't, maybe you get them that receiver next year in free agency, because it's likely they lose Derrick Henry. So I feel like.
But they also have a good backup with what's his name? Tajay Spears. He's looking really good right now.
Very explosive.
And I just saw that clip of what you're talking about. Like, I don't think I've seen a QB. I guess Lamar did that, like, in the...
He threw, like, a catch to himself because it got
tipped. That was weird.
That
but
wasn't
that's
as
like,
crazy as the Will Levis play.
Like, I don't think I've seen a quarterback know that they're about to throw an interception and start to run after them immediately. Like, that's something I have... Like, it takes a lot of awareness to do that as a quarterback, and a lot of quarterbacks don't like to get in that position to kind of, like, put themselves in the front line to try to kind of get that ball back. So... I can understand what you're saying about him being like potentially a really good quarterback coming forth. I don't think I feel like I would still take the wide receiver here though, because I feel like D-Hop's good, but how much longer is he going to be that solid wide receiver? How old is he now? He's getting older, isn't he?
29.
29.
If he's not 30, he's pushing it.
Yeah.
So like I feel like he'll be fine this year, but I feel like having the other wide receiver might just elevate his options a lot more.
I don't know. Traylon Burks is still an option too. Actually, he's on year 3 already.
He's pretty injury prone. I think for the last 2 years he's been injured.
He's on year 2.
Year 2?
Is he on year 2? Well, he got injured 2 years ago. I know that.
Wasn't he 2022 draft?
Well, going into his third year.
Yeah, that's what I meant, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I take wide receiver, but I can understand a tackle here.
I'm thinking tackle here.
All right, I guess we're going
tackle?
Joe Alt out of Notre Dame. I just clicked on his profile. Okay. Falcons on the clock here. Everything is telling me that they are going J.J. McCarthy here.
Yeah,
I just
I
don't know
agree.
why. Personally, I think they go corner here, maybe receiver.
There's Michael Penix Jr. Yeah, I know. Didn't he have a good run at the end of the college season?
I mean, he brought the team to the national championship.
How did he do in that game? I didn't watch it.
Bad.
He didn't do very well, and he has an injury history. I know that, so that could drop him a bit. But teams, like I said earlier, teams are just very high on McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he would go here. But
We also have Fields, keep in mind.
true, Fields could go here.
Yep.
If they theoretically have Fields, I feel like Odunze
Yep.
here would be great value for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's where I would
That
go.
is a disgusting
So,
team.
yeah, I guess since we kind of agree that Rome is probably the best decision here, I should probably just talk about. I feel like every team in the top 10, I feel like the Falcons are the most likely to trade up, if anything, or at least do some kind of trade. Because I feel like they have such good weapons on like everything. They got Drake London, great wide receiver. They got Kyle Pitts, a really good tight end who's just been underutilized. And they got Bijan, who's looking really promising coming into his second year. The only thing they've been missing is that QB, and I feel like if they get that good QB, this would be the year that I think they could make a playoff run. If not, I don't think they could go to the Super Bowl with that team. They might be able to. It just depends on how good the quarterback plays.
What if there are other options?
Other
I'm
options?
seeing cornerbacks, but they got Jesse Bates, right? Is he a cornerback?
He's a safety.
Oh, never mind.
They have AJ Terrell, but I mean, you can never have too many good corners.
Yeah, that's true.
Cooper DeJean, it's like the first notable white corner since Jason Sehorn. So I think I'm gonna go Odunze here personally.
I think I'm agreeing. Oh, that offense
And we're gonna
is
say
just
with
crazy.
Fields, though,
with
right?
Fields,
With
yeah, I think
Fields.
we're saying
Yeah,
Fields
under the
Falcons.
assumption.
So we're saying Falcons is Fields, Bijan, London, Pitts, and Odunze.
I think
Wow,
this
that's a
coming
lot.
year, if they play their cards right, they're going to be. I think they could be top.
Probably win
they
the division.
They will most likely win the division if they play their cards right.
Baker just signed a good deal. Tampa Bay could still be up.
Tampa
if they
Bay's
keep-
still up there, but I think if you compare the two teams with the team that we are saying that they have Fields and Odunze, I just think I'd much rather be in the Falcons' shoes with this
Yeah.
younger,
Definitely.
with so many more options than. I mean, you got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and
Yeah.
Rashad White.
All getting
Chris
older.
Godwin even isn't that good.
He's good. He's just
He's had some injuries.
yeah. All I'm saying, all I'm saying, Baker Mayfield is making $30 million a year, and Daniel Jones is making $40. So.
I'll be back in 1 second. I'm sorry.
All right. So Bears have their actual pick now at 9. Take Caleb Williams earlier. Top receivers are off the board, so
Yeah.
that's a little concerning for them. They could do like a. We could probably trade back here if they don't see anyone.
Yeah.
But corner and defensive line are also needs for them. I don't know how bad they need a tackle. It says here that it's not like one of their top 5. So personally,
Corner.
I'm gonna go corner.
Yeah.
Are we on Bears right now? I'm presuming.
Bears 9.
Are they going white boy though, or are they going Nate Wiggins?
I don't like. This is where it's difficult because in terms of football, I barely know about like cornerbacks, tackles. Like I barely know any defensive players that much. I know the Dolphins because it's my team, but other than that, I know like Dexter Lawrence and like Sauce Gardner. But that's like I only know the big names. So when it comes to guys that I don't even know or they're undrafted currently, like I have no clue what any of these guys like are about. So it's like I'm kind of just going off if they think that Cooper is it DeJean or DeJean? DeJean. If Cooper DeJean is higher up, I feel like he's probably the better pick. But I mean, they're so close together. Either could be go either way.
it might just be best player available.
Yeah.
So
Honestly.
whoever they think that is, maybe they assume it's Cooper DeJean, maybe it's someone else. I don't know.
Because, I mean, they got what? They got the new quarterback. They got DJ Moore still.
Yeah.
Cole Kmet, solid tight end. The only other thing would be running back. But it says here they don't even need the running back. And it looks.
The game wasn't even bad.
It wasn't bad, but a lot of it also came from they have that running quarterback in terms of Fields.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True, yeah.
So we going with.
I feel like just Cooper
I like
DeJean.
it.
Cooper?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good to me. And final pick, Jets. I feel like this is tackle. Easiest one yet.
Improve that line, protect Aaron Rodgers.
Thing is, which one though? Because I know Olu Fashanu from Penn State was considered like potentially one, maybe two with Joe Alt, and then apparently Tylise Fuaga has flown up the boards here since I've last done a mock draft. So I guess I don't really know. I know a little more about Fashanu, and there's not much there, but I know a little about more him. It says he's projected to go here,
Yeah.
so I feel like that's what I'm gonna go personally.
Yeah, I can see that. We got to like the end of it. So I think this is solid. I think this is a very likely thing. We're obviously banking off the fact that Fields is getting taken away from the Bears, but I think there's a very possible chance he's not going to. You know, I think it's a very 50-50 thing here.
But yeah,
So, before we end it, if they do stick with Fields, what are they doing? Are they taking Harrison or are they trading it the pick?
I really think this year there's a lot. I think they've been waiting for that year where they can get that one stud that shows that they have really good potential, because they've had like the first round pick for what, 2 years now? Did they have first round last year?
Mm-hmm.
So they have such good draft capital that it's kind of like, do they want to keep having that and wait until they get even better, or do they want to just take what they can get now, get that really good wide receiver, and just have a lot more options for Fields? So I think personally, if they did not trade Fields, I think they would take Marvin Harrison. But
What do you think, Gavin?
I think you trade down to maybe a 6 with the Giants, because then you can get one of those top receivers in that range, as well as a big haul for one too. So I feel like trading down would be more realistic because you can get more out of it. But I obviously drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. is not like a bad thing or anything like that.
yeah,
It just depends your view if you would rather have like Odunze or Nabers instead of Harrison.
Yeah.
And how much more you value Harrison.
Just to recap here, we got Bears trading Fields to Atlanta, taking Caleb Williams. Drake May goes to 2 to the Commanders. Jaden Daniels to the Patriots at 3. Marvin Harrison to the Cardinals at 4. Brock Bowers to the Chargers at 5. Malik Neighbors to the Giants at 6. Joe Alt to the Titans at 7. Rome Odunze joins Justin Fields in Atlanta at 8. Cooper DeJean at 9 for the Bears, and Olu Fashanu at 10 for the Jets.
I like it. Yeah.
I think this is a very, of course, obviously with the Fields stipulation, I think this is a very accurate draft of what could possibly happen. You know, draft day is always very confusing. Things happen left, right, and center. You never really know what's going to happen until the day it happens. But I think this is pretty accurate.
Good prediction.
Yeah.
Without any of the trading down or up or like seeing someone random from the later picks trading down for someone.
Yeah, I'll have to do my own research more. Maybe in the future we do a whole one, or maybe we just do 11 through 20 or something like that. But yeah, I guess we'll see you next time. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any comments or anything you'd like to say, let us know below. Thank you.